Good evening. The clock is ticking for signatures to be gathered on a recall of the Edinburg mayor.
They can't begin to start that process because the city has yet to provide the signature forms. Channel 5's Valerie Gonzalez explains what's next.
Here's the problem. Robert Solis, who initiated this recall process, has until the 31st in order to gather thousands of signatures. The city is not providing the forms that he needs to gather those signatures, and they're pointing to the city charter as a problem. Omar Ochoa discussed this earlier in a press conference. He's a city attorney for Edinburg. He explains they've spent the last couple of days, even part of today, realizing no city commission has approved one of these forms in the past. The commission must originate a form according to the charter. Ochoa said there hasn't been a recall since the 1949 charter was created. That's a problem. They're not simple fill-in-the-blank forms. They have to specify what the signer needs to submit in order to have their signature count.
So there are specific guidelines, again, within our charter as to what needs to be in there. It's things like making sure that certain affidavits have been provided, certain signatures have been gathered, specific name, address information has been provided in the signatures. But even in addition to all that, there may be other requirements, just as a matter of the form that's used.
Well, despite this delay, Solis still has 30 days from the time he submitted his form to gather thousands of signatures. The commission will meet tomorrow. It doesn't look like they'll be taking up this item, though. It could take another 2 weeks in order for them to even start discussing the form, let alone designing one. Solis says in spite of the looming deadline, he says he has the support.
We roughly already have about 2,000 people that want to sign the petition. So the numbers, as soon as we get the papers, we'll start having people sign, and we should get those numbers pretty quick.
The city attorney says he's not aware of any deadline the city commission has on creating this form. If they don't create them with enough time for Solis to gather signatures, there is another option. Solis can refile the affidavit and essentially restart this process and get 30 more days. In order for him to have this qualify and prompt a recall election, he'll have to gather, by our estimates, 2,105 signatures. And they'll have to be valid and approved by the city secretary 10 days after they're turned in. Live in Edinburg, Valerie Gonzalez, Channel 5 News at 6.